Yeah, 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 yeah. Yo, 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 yo. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the latest edition of Minds of Mayhem podcast. We are your hosts, Rome and Nova. I just looked at your damn name, Nova Vakir.
Yup.
Every week the name changes. He goes on and on. Now you know you gotta fight
Mm-hmm.
Miles Born for her. You know that, right?
You can't fight.
Yeah, I beg to differ.
Can't fight.
So what's going on, man? How was your week? How's everything going?
Uh, Week is good. Um, we're definitely going to talk about Money in the Bank
Oh,
because
for sure. A lot.
there's a lot of questions, but at the
Yeah,
same time,
a
I
lot of
got nothing.
questions. Also, we had the AAA versus WWE Worlds Collide show, which was a good show too on YouTube. If you didn't check
Yep.
that out, it's still on YouTube. It was like a good 2 hours and some change.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to do. It made every match feel like it was a lucha match, so it was perfect. Yeah. So other than that, like my week was alright. Like I said, we're gonna talk about Money in the Bank, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk about did the right people win the Money in the Bank briefcase? Was it the right choices? We're also going to give our top five non WWE matches. They're like either in Indies, ECW, WCW, Ring of Honor, whatever. Also, WWE actually listened to the fans. They brought back I can't say our truth anymore because now he goes by Ron Killings, his actual
Mm-hmm.
name. So it could now. It's been reports about it. We'll get into that down the line. But as
Mm-hmm.
you know, as everybody know when they watch the show, we start off with the rundown. So let's get started. All right. So let's get started off with our reactions towards Money in the Bank. Okay, so as we know, Money in the Bank comes every year. This year was only four matches on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, five. Because they added one late, which was Dominic Mysterio versus Octagon Jr., which was like a quick, breather match after the women's Money in the Bank match. But let's get started with the women's Money in the Bank match. And the winner of that match was my pick, Naomi. And for me, she's the right person to win because out of everybody in that match, yeah, think about it. Alexa's gonna be fine because she has a situation with her and Charlotte, possibly Wyatt Six. Stephanie
Mm-hmm.
just got back up there, so she'll be all right. Julia has her own situation with Selena Vega now. Roxanne is dealing with the Judgment Day and Liv Morgan. And
Mm-hmm.
Rhea is going to be fine, period, because, she's one of the top stars in the company. I believe that Naomi needed more because think about it. She's been in that match so many times. The run she's going on right now with the Proceed with Caution is killing right now.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and like I said, her having that briefcase, depending on who she cashes in on, whether it be Tiffany Stratton or whoever wins that title. Could be the Jade, could be a returning Bianca Belair, could be a Nia Jax, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that this run that Naomi's on right now is well overdue for her to have that briefcase. I was happy when I was like, okay, cool, we getting somewhere. We getting somewhere. But how did you feel
Mm-hmm.
about the first match of the night, which was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
Um, First and foremost, shout out to Stephanie Vaquer pulling off double duty, two
Mm-hmm.
matches in one day. Shout out to her. That's why I changed my name to Nova Vacura. That's my
Yeah.
MVP. Um,
Yeah, I want
but
to say,
as far as
it was her and, well, it was Chad Gable and Americano, but yeah. But go ahead.
yeah, but I say for me, the women's Money in the Bank match was definitely it wasn't great, but it was good. I'll say that. Um,
It was a good opener.
good opener. I feel like a lot of things could have been executed a little bit better, especially with them burying Rhea Ripley underneath all those ladders.
Oh
Good
yeah,
spot. Could have been done better. Um, I definitely like the stare down between Alexa and Rhea. Um,
that could be built to something possibly down the line, probably maybe.
definitely.
They never fought each other before. It'll be the first time.
I feel like there should have been more done to Rhea because she's like the biggest threat in the women's Money in the Bank match, with Naomi being the sleeper slash underdog in the
Yeah,
matchup.
yeah.
Um, but overall, definitely good opener, definitely good matchup. I like the Devil's Kiss on the ladder. That was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
I know Booker T got his rocks off to that.
Yeah, Drax off double duty. Think about it, because she did it at Rose Collide, and then she did it at Money
hmm
in the Bank. And the thing
Yeah,
is,
so
he shared a tear when she left NXT, because it was like, uh, I can't do ah 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 ah. Oh
yeah,
yes.
can't do it. He can't do it no more. He can't do it no more.
Yeah,
But but overall, it was a good opener. I liked it. I enjoyed
yeah. As you said, Naomi.
it.
We'll get into this. Like I said, we're gonna talk about did the right people win the Money in the Bank. So, all right.
hmm
Next match we had was well, I wouldn't say a palate cleanser. If anything, it's a match like to get everybody relaxed after the excitement of the first match, which was Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against Octagon Jr. from AAA. Good match overall. I mean, the outcome we knew was going to be Dominic winning, and Dominic is basically having this premise of he's trying to be the best luchador of all time. Even though
hmm
we know even though the best luchador of all time is his daddy. But
We ain't
like
gonna talk about it.
yeah, either way. But Dominic is Dominic. All in all, it was a good exhibition match between the two. Octagon Jr. is young as hell too, so it's like, I mean, hey. And then of course, like I said, you had some of the audience some of the wrestlers from AAA that was in the audience. Like they had like Kingo and Mr.
hmm
Iguana, I believe.
Yeah,
He's been getting a lot of pop, Mr. Iguana. They've got
that,
his shirt on theyshut.com.
bruh. I was kind of skeptical with these names. I'm like, the hell?
Yeah, I think about AAA is like even it's Lucha Libre, but some of the characters that's in AAA are like very like could be goofy a little bit, but all in all, they can wrestle their ass off.
Yeah. I mean, Psycho Clown kind of scared me a little bit, but I get it.
That second clown mask put me in the mind of Metal Gear.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
But yeah. Overall, Dominic defended his title. He successfully defeated Octagon Jr. And so
hmm
now we don't know where Dominic goes from here. Possibly a feud with AJ Styles, maybe, or probably him and Finn start having a feud soon because it should be building up soon between them two. Because Dominic has screwed Finn over multiple times, and Finn is trying his best to make Liv's life live in hell and his, but it's like you don't know what's going to go on with this. So,
Exactly.
so we move on to the next match, which was the women's Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and
hmm
Lyra Valkyria, which was the best match to me, match tonight. Reason why I say
Oh.
that because I know everybody has their like little fits about Lyra because Lyra's character it could be a little like stale, not like you can't get behind it, but in that ring, that girl can go. She was going blow for blow with Becky Lynch. It was a point where she kicked out of the man hand slam from the top rope,
hmm
and of course the stipulations was if Lyra wins, Becky cannot be challenged for the Intercontinental Championship as long as she's the champion. I'm guessing. And if
Right.
Becky wins, Lyra had to raise up Becky's hand.
Hmm.
Well, no, Becky. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Here we go. But
Yeah.
so all in all, Becky Lynch is now the new women's Intercontinental champion, and all in all, we knew that was going to happen because it's like Becky's last. This is Becky's last chance to get that title, and then it's like if she loses, what's the purpose of her being involved with the story and everything between them two? So her winning that IC title makes sense because it
Hmm.
leads to her possibly facing Bayley soon. I know it's going to be at SummerSlam the way it looks because Bayley didn't come back last night. Bayley was actually with her mom on her birthday, so
As
we don't
she
know.
should.
Yeah, right, as she should. It's her mom. But at the same time, where do we go now from here with Lyra and Becky? Do we have another rematch again? Does it call for another rematch? Possibly, maybe. I don't know because SummerSlam is around the corner, but we
It
still
is.
have the King of the Ring, the King and Queen of the Ring coming up.
Hmm.
So we got that to worry about as well. So it's like it's a lot of like give and take that we have to give up for. All in all, like I said, Becky Lynch is now the new IC champion. How'd you feel about the match?
Predictable, mainly
Mm,
because of the
yeah.
mainly because of the stipulation. But outside of that, I like the back and forth. It definitely gave it definitely gave Lyra a little bit of a push in a way as far as like that aggression that we needed to see out of her, and as far as like
Okay.
the I guess you could say a little bit of a personality because not to say she doesn't have one, but
You
you
can't
don't
say she don't have
see,
one though. No.
yeah, you just don't see it in the match. Like you want to see her like connect to the crowd even more than what she's doing now. You want to see
Mm-hmm.
her um be, like I said, be more aggressive and be more in the match instead of the match, if that makes sense.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, that's true. But at the same time, she has been getting aggressive and changing up her character a little bit in her promos because we had never heard Lyra come at people like this hard. The way she's been coming at Becky.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You only see it in the promo, but not in the performance.
True.
And so
That's true.
like I feel like Becky Lynch was like like the best person to
Bring it
bring
out.
that out of her
Yeah.
because of course they're both, from Ireland, and Irish people have that connection. So it's like who's that person that could bring Lyra Valkyria to life even more and beyond, and that was Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that's
As
true.
far as Becky winning, I, I'm kind of 50-50 about it because Becky didn't need the title. At the same time, it's good to have another title under her belt, but it's like, did she really need it?
I think it's like they want to because Becky's like one of those talents where it's like you want to make sure they have the achievements. Like,
Yeah, I
granted,
mean,
this is
yeah.
adding her to her long list of championships and moments and everything. So it's like it is what it is because she's a
Hmm.
former women's champion, former world women's champion,
Hmm.
former tag team champion, and now she's a current Intercontinental champion. Of course, she won the Royal Rumble,
Hmm.
so she had her moments. It's just like you said, did she really need it? I would say for the story purposes, yes, because the story between her and Bayley is starting to build up a little bit because Bayley's been out since she's been jumped by
Hmm.
Becky Lynch. So it's like it's only a matter of time until Bayley comes back and fights Becky for that belt.
I mean, yeah, but it also, you got to question Lyra's rematch. Like, she's owed a rematch. It's like,
If
do
anything, that
you?
probably be on Raw. If anything,
I mean, the 9 times out of 10, I see that happening. My thing was, as far as what you're saying, like I see a rematch happening at SummerSlam, but maybe,
Yeah.
just maybe, in the form of a triple threat.
Here's what I would do. If they go and do that, I would since you said triple threat, this is what I would do.
Hmm.
I would actually have Lyra versus Becky at SummerSlam.
Hmm.
Becky possibly goes over. Q Bailey's music comes out, gets that pop, and sets up a match between them two for down the line.
Okay.
I would do that. Granted, triple threat sounds great, but it's like triple threat. We already know who's gonna eat the pin, so it's like I would rather just have Lyra versus Becky again and have Bailey come back. Just say, look, what you did to me was wrong. Beat your ass and I'm gonna take your title too.
Mm. Yeah.
All right,
That's
so
yeah.
so let's move on to the next match, which was the men's Money in the Bank match, where we had Andrade, Penta, Solo Sokoa. Then you had Seth Rollins, LA Knight, and El Grande Americano.
Hmm.
Great spots in the match. A little clunky here and there, but great spots in the match. Told a lot of stories too.
Hmm.
We see the situation between El Grande Americano and Penta's not done.
Yeah.
Andrade, he made himself be back on TV again, which is good for him. Because think about it, he wasn't doing anything until he got into the match.
Right.
Um LA Knight, that was my pick to win.
Hmm.
Third straight year he didn't win overall. Kind of like a little mad about that because it's like you were in LA. Pull that trigger. Because the winner of that match was Seth Rollins. He won the match. Before we get
Hmm.
to him, we also had a situation between Solo and Jacob. Ever since Friday night, if you didn't catch it, Solo basically came at Jacob and said he's all gas and no brains. Basically pulling a la Triple H and Ric Flair talking about Batista.
Yep.
And of course, we see Jacob try to come out of the doorway. So you talking shit about me? Okay, okay. So he screwed over Solo, gave him the spinning Solo to the ladder and everything, knocking out Solo, which pertains to Seth Rollins winning the Money in the Bank with the help of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Hmm.
Overall, to me, Seth didn't need this. Seth didn't need this briefcase. I'm not even going to hold you. Granted, I
Hmm.
understand the premise of the story where we're trying to make, you know, Seth this next, even though he already been a big deal, but it's like he's in this whole phase now where he has his own entourage a little bit. He has his own
Hmm.
muscle. He has his wise man in Paul Heyman. So it's basically he's doing what Roman did, have his own faction bloodline. Just that it's not blood,
Hmm.
it's mainly just nothing but young guns that's in the up and coming. Like the
Hmm.
person that has the most like future ahead of him is Braun Breaker. He's only what 20, I think 26 years old. So it's like he's the
More than
youngest of
him.
the
Yeah.
group. Speaking of Braun Breaker, his cousin is in WWE now. Scott Steiner's son signed a WWE NIL deal.
Oh boy. We about to get a Steiner Brothers 2.0.
That's what I'm saying. Also, guess what else signed
Oh,
an
here
NIL
we go.
deal? Titus O'Neil's son signed an NIL deal.
I forgot his son wanted to be a wrestler. No, Mark Henry's son did too, didn't he?
Him, yeah, Mark Henry's son as well too.
Oh man, attitude era all over again. Here we go. That's what I need.
As soon as I saw they say Scott Steiner's son, I'm like, oh Lord, here we go.
Steiner
And the thing is
math.
though,
Bring it
the
back.
whole family is nothing but freaks of nature. So it's like, imagine what his son can do in the ring.
Yeah, yeah.
But back to Money in the Bank. Like I said, Seth didn't need the briefcase, but it is what it is. Thing is though, is he gonna cash in on Jay? Or is it gonna be a swerve he's gonna cash in on possibly Cena or Cody if Cody wins the belt?
I had a thought about that. We'll talk about that on the in the other subject with the Money in the Bank
Mm-hmm.
because I find it like with Seth being the winner. I had two outcomes that could possibly make sense, but at the same time, only one would make better sense. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, but all in all, Seth, he has a money in the bank briefcase. He has now hit he is now holds the contract now. Like I said, is he gonna cash in whenever? We'll see what happens because he's now a two-time Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yep.
God help us all, because Seth Rollins is on a tear right now with this group. This is literally like Evolution 2.0 overall a little bit. Only thing is though,
In a
Paul
way.
don't wrestle.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah. All right. So the next match was the main event, which was John Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes' first match since being back since he lost at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
The match did what it's supposed to do. It's so I know everybody was kind of like upset, like why are we having this tag match? Like, look, like let the match build up. You got both world champions in this match, and you got both of the competitors for those titles, so it makes
Mhm.
sense. You to have Jey Uso and Cody back as a tag team again is great because remember last time they was tag team champions, the infamous press conference where they was drunk. Still the most popular, still the most popular post show interviews is it's still hilarious to this day. But all in all, the match was great. Back and forth between the four. The spots, the springboard moonsault to the table from Logan. Here's my thing about Logan. Logan is great in the ring. He's great as a wrestler. Now, granted, he did botch that buckshot clothesline. He did
Yeah,
botch that
I
a little
seen it.
bit,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he get past. For him to have all that talent and everything, he's still a prick. He's a prick. He's a douche. But I gotta respect his game in the ring because he's a good wrestler. He does what he's supposed to do. He gets the heat. He gets the reaction from the fans. I know everybody be
hmm
like, yo, why we letting go all these wrestlers? We can't let go of Logan Paul. Logan Paul gets a reaction.
big
He gets
facts.
all that heat. So it's like you're gonna let go of a guy that gets the most heat for you that you know going to bring in some people to watch the show to see get his ass kicked. I mean, hey, it
Yep,
is what it is.
yep.
But like I said, Logan Paul, he showed off that match. Of course, Cena being the dastardly heel that he is, Cena's heel right now is a cartoonish. A little bit. You think about it,
Hmm.
he's like a cartoonish heel. And to his sisters, like working for him. All in all, Cena hits Cody Rhodes in the head with the title. Then a mystery guy in a hoodie, in the normal hoodie, black pants, and black sneakers, coming in beating up Cena. Mask comes off. Who is it? R Truth. But he now
Our
goes by
truth,
Ron
baby.
Killings. Hits him with the world championship. Leaves the ring. Cody Rhodes picks up Cena with the crossroads. One, two, three. The first time Cena has been pinned since being back in WWE
Mm.
and since winning the WWE championship. So right there and then,
Hmm.
once Cody pinned him, that basically means right there that Cody's in line for a WWE championship match at SummerSlam possibly. That's the
Yeah,
way it looks. But
yeah,
then I could be wrong. Cause remember, we got King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring coming up, so you got that as well. Also, now it's like where things though. Where's Logan go from here now?
that's a good question.
Because he had
That
his
is a good
world
question.
he had a title match at Saturday Night Main Event and lost against that to Jay. He just
Hmm.
lost his tag team match. So it's like, where do you go from
Hmm.
here now with him? Do you go to another story with him
It,
possibly, or have him feud with some?
I
I don't know.
I have the boldest and bravest prediction on that.
Let me hear it.
Put him in the King of the Ring tournament.
I wouldn't be mad at that. No.
Put him in there. I say put him in there, and if he does win, which I highly doubt he will, but if he does win, that gives him a rematch, another shot. If he loses,
But that big thing is so
cool.
he get
If
shot
he
at SummerSlam.
wins,
Yeah.
yeah. If he wins,
If anything, I can see him
King Logan
possibly.
Paul
Here's the thing.
has a nice
If
ring. I ain't
anything,
gonna lie.
if anything, it'd be. You know what? Granted, that is a good idea, but to me, I would have. I'll put since he lost his match for the world championship, I would put him in
Hmm.
the IC title picture for right now a little bit
I wouldn't be mad at that either.
because, granted, we know Dom is Dom and everything, so it's like you know, and to have Logan Paul in the Intercontinental title picture, it makes sense at least to an extent
Yeah, because
because him as world champion,
he's already been U.S. champ.
he's
So
been U.S.
why
champ.
not?
He's challenged for the world titles, both of them. He lost to Roman, lost to Cody, lost to Jay.
Hmm.
So it's like, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Or who knows? Him and Cena might do something probably because he did hit Cena in the ring. So it's like it makes sense.
That's true.
But all in
That is
all,
true.
the winner of the matches was Jay Uso and Cody Rhodes. They got the win. How did you feel about this match overall and all the stories it told, especially with the return of Ron Killings?
I liked it actually. I can honestly say like the men's Money in the Bank was like, in my opinion. Well, I'm sorry, the
The
tag team
tag
match. I
team
don't
match.
even
There we
know
go.
why I said
I think
my
you still got
God.
that match on your mind, possibly. That's probably why.
Yeah, but the tag team match I feel like was match of the night mainly because Logan Paul definitely stepped up in a way to prove like he can be a WWE superstar. But at the same time, even though he's definitely the outsider of the business, he could low key be a main eventer if we want to be technical. He can low key be a main eventer at this point.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And
He can be. Yeah, he
I
could.
I know people that are watching this is gonna be like, oh, Logan Paul is not worthy of it. It's not about being worthy of a main event. It's pretty much proven that you can hang with the best in the business. And Logan Paul has done that so far. He did it with Roman. He did it with Cena. Hell, he did it with Cody.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't defend the guy even more than what I can right now. But like Logan Paul is definitely one of those people that had came from like the YouTube world over into the wrestling world, made a statement, has gotten better over the years, thanks to
Hmm.
guys like The Miz, Kevin Owens,
The
Roman
Mysterios.
Reigns, the Mysterios, everybody that has guided Logan Paul along the way and made him better. So I would say like he's definitely he's definitely stepped up in his match as far as like the obvious vets of Jade, Cody, and Cena.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it was a slow pace between the vets, obviously, but with Logan Paul being that one youth factor to like help maintain a certain pace of the match, big
Hmm.
props to him. Overall, told a good story between all four gentlemen. Um, I will say though that moonsault that
The springboard moonsault to Jay on the table.
that
It was perfect.
was beautiful.
Like I said, he's athletically gifted. He just a
That
dick.
was beautiful, beautiful. I just wish they stopped breaking the new damn tables. Like those
Here's
tables
my
are
thing about
beautiful.
that. These are not the old
God,
school tables though.
Jesus.
These tables are different. These tables are like reinforced the way it looks. Cause even when I think who's wait was it when Jay speared Cena, you thought the table was gonna break. It didn't break. But then as soon as Logan Paul did the springboard moonsault, it broke. And the thing is though, Logan landed that joint clean. He landed right on top of him. He didn't like miss. But like I said, Logan Paul is gifted, athletically gifted. He's just a total dick.
Dang.
That's the only problem. He's just a total dickhead.
I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. But like I said, overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Match of the night to me.
Okay, I can get that. I can understand that. That's the reaction towards that. All right, so let's move on
Hmm.
to the next topic, bro, which is did the right people win the Money in the Bank briefcases? Okay, so for me, this is why I said for the women's side, yes, like I said, Naomi needed the briefcase. She was the right person to have it due to her whole new persona, proceed with caution. Due to
Hmm.
her the fact that she can cash in really on anybody for real. Cause she like you look at her on Twitter, which when she's hilarious. Do you see what she did for Jay's birthday cake?
I didn't.
She brought an ice cream birthday cake, right? And put razors in it. Like razors. I'm like, what the hell, Naomi? And it's like, Naomi, this also, like I said, this is her best run ever. For her. This is her best run ever. Also, shout out to Big E for giving her flowers last night to her. It legit made Naomi cry. It almost broke character, but luckily, her being the professional that she is as a heel, basically told the crowd to shut it up because y'all didn't believe me from the rip.
I love that part. That was
Yes.
all they had to do was just shut up.
Yeah, that was it. But we gotta think about it. The way the fans are set up today, they cheer for the face or they cheer for the heel. So it's like, what can you do?
Yeah, that's true.
And then on the men's side, like I told you, like I said earlier, Seth didn't need this damn briefcase. He did not need it. If anything, for me, the winner of that match should have been L.A. Knight. He should have had that briefcase. He should be the one be holding the case and maybe possibly until Mania or maybe even what SummerSlam Survivor Series for real.
Yeah.
But all in all, I get the reason why you put the briefcase on Seth. But for me, he was the wrong person to win that. I wanted LA Knight.
Hmm.
So how did you feel? Do you think the right people won the briefcases?
All right. Naomi, yes. Seth, to me, was the second best choice to win it.
Who's your first?
My first would have been surprisingly not LA Knight.
Who? I'm gonna say who then? Yeah,
It might have. I honestly, I thought it might have been Solo.
that's not a bad pick.
I
Cause
thought it was. I thought it was going to go in Solo's direction. That's what I thought.
it could have went his direction, but it's like now he's building that story with Jacob now. So it's like,
Tis it's true.
yeah. But if he didn't have the story with Jacob and everything, Jacob wasn't with him,
Hmm.
then maybe, yeah, for sure. Because Solo
Exactly.
with that briefcase, because if you notice for the past few weeks now, or basically months, Solo has developed this like cockiness a little bit with him. Like being goofy and everything. It's like working for him and everything. Because it's like,
Hmm.
remember, any other time we didn't really have character with Solo. Now it's like Solo's building up enough character for him to be a dashingly heel that's so cocky and everything. So it's like, it makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, Solo would have been a good pick. Like anybody, like Solo, LA Knight, anybody. But here's the thing: we're not saying Seth don't deserve the briefcase. We're just saying that for real, he didn't need it.
Hmm.
Any of them could have won that briefcase would have been perfect for him, either way. But just that with Seth, it's like you have stories going on with CM Punk still. You got stuff with Sami Zayn somewhat still. You have Roman Reigns gonna be coming back soon, whoop your ass. So it's like you have a lot of stuff on your plate. So it's like for you to want to be world champion, get all the power again. Now, granted, he said he wants the power. Like I said, if Seth is Seth, what if he don't cash in for the World Heavyweight Championship? What if he cash in for the WWE Championship?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we saw Friday night, him and Cody, I think he whispered something to Cody's ear.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he said, but we like I said, we'll find out probably down the line, probably most likely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was a quick like little recap of that because, like I said, we both had. Well, I had Naomi winning. You had, I think, believe Rhea winning.
Yeah, I did have real win.
Like I said, Naomi getting the briefcase is perfect. Like we both just said, Seth Rollins is cool getting the briefcase, but it could have went to somebody else that needed it more than him.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to talk about the point that I was going to make as far as Seth winning. So, I had a thought
Okay.
as far as Seth cashing in.
All right, this is the
Now, the
Minds Man podcast. Go ahead, speak your mind.
the predictable thing that most people have talked about is since tomorrow Jay Uso is defending the world championship,
Yep.
Seth is going to cash in. It could be the case. Cool. Now, here's where it gets even better if they do it this way. Instead of Seth cashing in, you let Jay Uso defend. If he loses, he loses. If he wins, cool. Seth should cash in at SummerSlam. And the reason why I say SummerSlam is because, of course, whoever wins King of the Ring
Uh huh.
goes on to SummerSlam and gets a title shot.
Yep.
And depending on who's in the King of the Ring tournament, they win. Seth could cash in that way. Now, this brings me back to the prediction that I had on the previous podcast between John and Jay. If they did something where John Cena versus Jay Uso, champion versus champion, maybe at Night of Champions,
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest yet greatest opportunity for Seth to cash in.
True.
And the
That's real.
reason being is because if you have Jay versus John, I'll say Cena puts his title on the line. Cool. And you get to that dramatic point of, oh my God, Jay might do it, but they both knocked out. Here comes Seth running down, cashes in. Now, this is where the interesting part comes in that if this scenario plays out. On one hand, you got John Cena
Uh huh.
with the championship that Seth has made relevant since he did the cash in at WrestleMania 10 years ago
Right.
versus the championship that he made relevant in the modern era last year with his run into WrestleMania last year, well, 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, he won it. He won it in 2023 and held the belt for a long period of time. So yeah.
So, do you cash in on the belt you made history with, or do you cash in on the belt that you made a legacy with? And that's the internal battle that you leave with Seth Rollins as far as this scenario. And I feel like honestly, if you want to do it, cash it in on Cena. So that way we can get another Seth versus Cody match if that's even in the plan.
Right.
If you cash it in on Jay, you can give us Seth versus Punk, Seth versus Gunther, Seth versus whoever steps up, or whatever the case may be is.
Mm.
Like I said, I that's the vision that I'm seeing, and I hope that's the vision because that would make a decent cash in as far as what Seth would choose in that moment as Mr. Money in the Bank.
I like what you're doing here with this and everything. Now, like I said, the thing between Cena and Jay, you think about the tag team match they just had. That was kind
Hmm.
of their versus moment right there. So it's like
Yeah.
for them to have another match, a singles match at Night of Champions, 1-on-1, and then you saying Cena's title will be on the line this time. I like the mindset you had, but I don't think it'll work out. Like I said, with Night of Champions coming up with the King and Queen of the Ring also as well.
Hmm.
So it's like if anything, you can set up possibly for Jay to probably defend the title at Night of Champions. If not, be a spectator to find out who's going to be like going against him. Like the champions, don't they should be there at the show? Are they going to defend the titles? Who knows?
Hmm.
It should be defend the titles since it's Night of Champions. But you know, with Triple H's mindset with cards,
Hmm.
sometimes the cards we have like 5 or like 4 matches.
Right.
Like not
Right.
like every title is not going to be on the line.
Hmm.
But at the same time, we'll see how it turns out. Like you said, Seth cashing in on either title that he made relevant. That's a good like mindset, good story right there, told right there. So that's
Hmm.
good. But like I said, will it happen? To be determined.
Who knows?
All right, before we get to the next topic, I want to tell you a funny situation happened earlier today with me. So I
Oh.
talked to one of my good friends that's live in California, a beautiful young lady. Uh, so we was talking. She was making a joke. She said, "I'm gonna beat you up like Steve Cold Austin." I'm like, "Who?" Yeah, you heard what I said. She said, "I'm gonna beat you up like how Steve Cold Austin beats up people." I'm like, "You mean Stone
Steve
Cold Steve Austin?"
Cold
So you know what I meant? I
Austin.
said, "No, I didn't. Who the hell is Steve Cold Austin?" I told her right here. I said, "Watch, I'm gonna mention you on my podcast tonight. Watch." So you better not. I said, "Well, I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna clip this out and send it to her and be like, look what I said."
Yep.
Also,
Steve Cold
hi,
Austin. It's crazy. Steve Cold
Steve
Austin.
Cold
That's
Austin. That should be a name for next week. Steve Cold
I,
Austin.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Ron Killings, formerly known as R Truth, is back. Now, this comes off the fans basically getting what they want this time again.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, they actually listened to the fans. Where everybody, it was an outbreak of like hurt when they announced that R Truth was going to be released from his. Well, not he was going to run his contract out and be let go.
Hmm.
So now he's going on this run as his last name was real name Ron the Killings because it's been reported saying that they did a whole new agreement basically where this run he's about to go on I guess right now where he'll have his name Ron Killings and like once he leaves the company he'll have a name that's known from WWE TV. That way he can go on like indie shows or possibly TNA maybe or like, anything like that.
Hmm.
So like he's trying to make his name out. Now, granted, this whole situation of him posting what he posted on Twitter and then him coming back last night, everybody that thinks they know wrestling or whatever is basically saying this was a work. This was like, this was us again. It's the thing. Even if it wasn't work, I'm happy it played the way it played out.
Hmm.
Cause the pop that Truth got last night was crazy. Then on top of that,
Crazy.
he said himself recently it wasn't a work. Also, Triple H is a damn troll because he said situation with that, and then our true son comment. Now our true son commented today saying something funny, but it was all in all. But overall, I'm happy that Ron is back
Hmm.
because, granted, even though we know how old he is, he can still go in that ring like a 20-some-year-old. And then it's like one,
Can he ever?
then it's like one. He's like the most beloved person backstage from all the wrestlers.
Hmm.
All in all, I was happy to see him last night. As soon as he took the mask off, that pop was crazy. How'd you feel about
Uh,
Ron Killings coming back?
I didn't expect it,
Yeah,
and for them to say that, or for them to say that it wasn't a work. I mean, they got me
that's what I'm
because
saying. It got everybody. Like it really
because
didn't think it was like a work, but Truth said it himself recently. It was he was just I think this afternoon he said it wasn't a work. I said okay, but it just feel like it because every fan was legit like upset, cussing out TKO, commenting on
hmm
all their posters and everything.
hmm
Then on the American, then on the I say American, then on the AAA and Worlds Collide show, you saw nothing but hashtag We Want
we
Truth.
want truth. Yep.
Even the fact that when Truth returned last night, it was a streamer on YouTube streaming the show. When Truth came out, she cried her heart out. That's how much Truth mean to people because even though Truth had this persona of being a goofy guy that didn't know everything, he's
Mhm.
so beloved. And for half him back, even Kathy Kelly at the post show was going to cry.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Show you that the number one, the power of WWE fans. Because it's not the first time they got what they wanted. Think about it.
Mhm.
We had the R Truth. We had the Cody Rhodes crybaby situation,
Right.
Kofi Mania,
hmm
and Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan.
hmm
Like when the fans get behind you or they love you, it's like 10 toes down.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's
And on
like,
top of that,
go ahead.
I like when the news broke that he got released. At first, I'm like, hey, the man had a hell of a career.
Definitely.
I can't. I couldn't get mad at it. It's like, all right, he really wasn't doing much. And yeah, he had a matchup with John Cena for the was it for the champ? No, it
No, it
wasn't for the
wasn't.
championship.
No.
But at the same time, like if you look at Ron Killings, our truth, however y'all want to call him, if you look at the longevity of his career, that man has been around for everything.
Yep.
From the Attitude Era to TNA to the
Even before the
Ruthless
attitude,
Aggression
even
era.
before the attitude, he was in OVW. No, no,
Exactly.
not no Smoky Mountain. I believe Smoky Mountain.
hmm Yep. So if you look at how long our truth has been around, like he's pretty much done it all, except for win the world championship. He's done everything.
Well, he's a world champion. He's just not the world champion in WWE.
Well,
But
WWE, yeah.
yeah, think about it because he's the only still black NWA world champion.
NWA, yep.
Yep.
hmm
So all
Like
in all,
he's
happy that
made
Truth's back.
history.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's made history. He's pretty much done it all.
Yep.
Like he's pretty much damn near Grand Slam. He just got to win that one major title, and he's good.
Um, well, he
Or
only
did
won
he?
the United States in the tag team. Never won the
Oh yeah, he
IC.
never won. And he never won the IC. See,
And
it's
like you
that
said,
damn hot. It's that damn hot potato thing they was doing that made me think he won it.
I think you think of the United States title because that's when they obtained that title too.
That too. But like he was like 24/7 chant like 800 times.
Yeah. the thing,
Uh,
the matches between the spots and like moments between him and Drake Maverick was hilarious.
exactly. But yeah, like I would have been fine with if this was truly it for our truth. I would have been fine with it.
Oh yeah,
The
I would
man
have
had
been
a
fine with
career.
it too. I would have been upset,
He's
but
like 50 something.
he 53, I believe.
Call it a career.
Yeah,
Put him in the Hall of Fame or something. Like,
he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. Yes. All right,
hmm
so let's move on. All right, so like I said last week, we're bringing back the Kings list. We was out for a few weeks. Now we're bringing back the Kings list. So let's get started, bro, with the returning of the Kings list. right, King's List. This week we're doing our top five non WWE matches of all time. Well, not all time, but I guess you can say all time. Hell, don't matter.
Hmm.
Your top five non WWE slash WWF matches from either the Indies or wherever. You want to start off, bro?
Yeah, I started off. I got my five matches right here.
All right, you can go ahead and get
so,
started.
so, ladies and gentlemen, I have two WCW matches, two EC, no, not two, one ECW match, a TNA match, which I'm trying to figure out the year it was from, and a Ring of Honor match. So, I'm gonna start with the Ring of Honor match with CM Punk versus Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor
Ooh,
Championship.
good.
Now,
They had three matches too. Whew.
the match I'm thinking about was the one before Punk had signed to WWE, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Um, and that match, we when you talk about like what indie wrestling was all about at that time, this was one of those matches. Like Samoa Joe and CM Punk, no strangers to each other, putting on a clinic for the
Hmm.
title. And plus, that was I think that match was from his documentary from 2011.
I believe so because
Yeah.
see because I with that match alone, I think it really put Ring of Honor on the map. Believe to
Hmm.
me, it put them on the map
Hmm.
because granted we have had other matches in Ring of Honor, but it was the match between Joe and Punk that went to a draw.
Yep. Yep.
Like that match alone will make you a fan overall. All right,
Yep.
good, bro.
So that's
That's
number
number
one.
five.
Number five. I'm sorry. Number four. Um, it's a TNA lockdown match. The one with Elix Skipper during the moment, and
Oh
I
my
think that
god,
was
yes. That was
I can't
I think I
remember.
don't know what kind of match it was, but I know what you're talking about. That was a moment though.
Yeah,
I think it was a
that
tag team match, I believe, or something.
I
Or was
want to
it
say
legal
it
lockdown?
was.
I don't know.
I know it was a lockdown match, but I don't know if it was a tag team match or it was like a 6 man thing.
Let me pull it up
But
right
I'm
quick. Let
trying
me
to
see. Let me see if I can find it.
because I want to say it was either 04, 05, or 06, or it might have been sooner than that. But that match, my God, that was one of those matches that definitely solidified the legacy of TNA at the time. Especially, I know AJ Styles was in it. Elix Skipper was in it.
So it was a triple threat. No, actually no. It was a tag team match,
Hmm.
six sides of steel match. It was America's Most Wanted versus Triple X, which consists of course, Elix Skipper and I believe Christopher Daniels.
Boom. So that's the one. What year was that?
2004.
Ah, it was one off. Okay, so 04. Okay, so let me change that. 04. So yeah, that match alone was one of those matches that put TNA on the map, like I said. As far as the athleticism that they displayed, um, one of the greatest matches in TNA history. That's number four. Number three, I got, of course, the late great Sabu versus Taz.
Oh my god.
Fans, do your homework when it comes to that. I ain't even gonna go into that because well,
Because they
that's
had
number
battles.
three.
They had battles.
Number two. Now this one was an oldie but goodie. Controversial. I don't care, so y'all can shut the hell up. I got Chris Benoit versus Bret Hart from Sold Out 1999
Ooh, you going way
for the
back.
world championship. Of course, two Canadian legends. Chris Benoit's first WCW championship, similar to his WWE win at WrestleMania. The only difference is, of course, when you have Bret Hart in the ring with you, you're expected to go to war. submission, hold for hold, move for move. Two of the great technicians in the ring told a hell of a story and represented their country very well. And that's number two. And coming in at number one, Billy Kidman versus Juventud Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio at Starcade '98. Triple threat for the Cruiserweight
Ooh,
Championship.
ooh,
Now, if y'all know me, of course my guy does, but if y'all know me, I'm a WCW guy at heart.
yeah, he is.
And this match definitely not only told the story, but it involves two of my favorite cruiserweights of all time, Billy Kidman and Juventud Guerrero, Rey Mysterio being the bonus, and the whole LWO story um, coming to blows at Starcade at that time.
Mm.
Um, this was before Rey Mysterio took off his mask, I believe. Juventud took off his mask at this time, and Billy Kidman was coming out of the flock. So all three of these men have something to fight for without having to fight for it for the championship, if that
So you
makes
said
sense.
'98, right? I believe the situation with Ray. You said his mask was off at the time. No, Ray mask came
No,
off
no,
in
no, no. No, this
99.
was before he took off the mask.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to make.
Yeah.
It probably heard wrong. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio still had his mask. Juventud lost his mask,
To Jericho, I
and
believe.
bingo, I forget
Yeah.
what pay per view it was. And like I said, Billy Kidman was coming out of the flock,
Mm-hmm.
being his own guy. So he was definitely, I think he was champ in this match
He was
too.
cruiserweight champion. Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite cruiserweight triple threats in WCW history. So yeah, like I said, number five, CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, Ring of Honor Championship.
Okay.
Uh, the lockdown, lethal lockdown match,
No, it was legal.
TNA.
It was just a regular six sides of steel match between
Six Sides of Steel. Okay, Six Sides of Steel
American Most
match in
Wanted versus
2004.
Triple X. Yep.
Yep, boom. That's number four. Number three, Taz versus Sabu. Number two, Benoit versus Bret Hart, sold out '99. And number one, Billy Kidman versus Juventud versus Rey Mysterio, Starcade '98 at number one.
Okay, so for me, my top five matches are all over the place. Cause like I said, I watch wrestling. I even watch like highlights of old matches and everything. So it's like you got me. Number five for me, it was in 1999. It was a random Monday Night Nitro. It was Diamond Dallas Page versus
Hmm.
Sting for World Heavyweight Championship. That was, I believe that was the opening match of the night, if not mistaken, or like the halfway match or whatever in the middle.
Yeah, mid card.
And
Yeah.
them two, for the whatever minutes they have in that match, like I said, we know Sting is arguably one of the best wrestlers in WCW history.
Hmm.
And then DDP also is like he's a WCW guy. The time he put in, the studying he did to be a wrestler, it just tells you right there he's one of the best wrestlers in WCW as well.
Yep.
Both of them going back and forth, diamond cutters, stinger splashes, scorpion death locks, scorpion death drop, tombstones. All in all, we
Hmm.
see Sting beat DDP. To me, that's one of my favorite WCW matches of all time.
Yep.
Okay, at number four, it's an ECW match, and
Okay.
it was for the ECW Television Championship. It was Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh.
That was the first time I watched that match. The
Ooh.
technician, both of them are technicians, man. And if you're
Hmm.
like a fan of technical wrestling, that match right there is for you. Eddie Guerrero at the time was still like, still like the baby face that he was until he turned heel in '97.
Hmm.
He was so great in ECW with Dean Malenko, man. And my ECW is going to be extreme. This match was just an ordinary, you know, exhibition match for that championship.
Hmm.
So that's my number four match. My number three match is a Ring of Honor match. Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness. Their first match.
Mm.
Where they had
Mm.
the pure championship and a Ring of Honor championship on the line. You are if you know the history of Daniel Bryanson and Nigel McGuinness, technical, another
Hmm.
technician match. So it's like you know what it is when it comes to these two. They had multiple matches.
Yep.
Nigel being a great wrestler from London, and of course Brian Danielson, the American Dragon, honestly one of the best technicians of all time. Number two, a New Japan type match, and this is actually
Okay.
somewhat like in a new era. Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada.
Mm. Okay.
The match that got 7 stars.
uh,
Granted, the match was
uh,
great, but 7 stars is a lot. But at the same time, I understand. This was their first match ever. Okada beat Kenny for this was their first time fight. Actually, no, I would think it was a draw. I believe.
hmm
I'll look at it again. 'Cause I haven't watched the match in so long. But that was the match that put me on Kenny Omega because everything else I never knew about Kenny Omega at all yet until that match.
Right.
Then I started watching his Ring of Honor stuff and then his earlier New Japan stuff with Ibushi and everything. So it was crazy. And my number one match, a Ring of Honor match. You will probably love this.
Hmm.
Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobayashi.
Mm.
If you don't know about that match, all I can tell you is he was Walter before Walter. Them chops, them damn chops that Kobayashi was giving to Samoa Joe. You gotta watch the match. You have to watch the match. This is I believe this was in 2004. I believe,
Hmm.
bro. When I tell you Kobayashi and Joe was giving like they were doing work in that ring. But those are my top five. Number five, DDP versus Sting. Number four, Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero. Number three, Brian Dancer versus Nigel McGuinness. Number two, Kenny Omega versus Okada. And
Hmm.
number one, Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobayashi. Those are our top five matches. And like I said, this was the Kings list for this week. And like I said, Kings list will be back from time to time. It won't be here every episode, so we'll have probably another topic coming up soon, possibly. Who knows? It'll be something.
Hmm.
All right, man. So, like I said, a lot of stuff is going on in wrestling. So, before we get out of here, predictions for tomorrow night. Who goes out on top? Jay or Gunter?
Whoever cashes, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and say the cash in.
The
That's all I'm gonna
cash in.
say.
If here's my thing, if Seth goes out there and cash in and fail, I'm gonna be mad because another year, another wasted cash in for the men. Like
That's
honestly,
true.
this is why I
That's
say he
true.
didn't. If he loses, this brings up my point. Seth didn't
That's
need
true.
it.
That is true.
Cause think about it, we had most of. I think about it, last year. Drew won it, lost the
Hmm.
night of. Following
Hmm.
year, Damian Priest won at Mania. The year before that, Austin Theory cashed in on Seth as the United States champion and lost. So it's like I don't know what they're trying to do or whatever. All I know
Hmm.
is that one, if you do a cash in tomorrow, just do the cash in because it's gonna be slight and easy. People are gonna be upset, of course, because Jay gonna probably lose his belt if he beats Gunter and Seth cashes in.
Right.
Or they might pull a twist and just say, look, Seth gonna lose his match and losing the cash in is what it is. We'll see how it turns out for tomorrow night. I got Jay winning tomorrow. Gunter's gonna be fine, I believe, because like he'll move on to something else.
Hmm.
So like Gunter's gonna be fine for the foreseeable future. Right now it's Jay's time, so it's like, yeah, let him go.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
man. So we're gonna end this episode. Got anything coming up, bro? Any announcements coming up for yourself or anything you can promote?
No. Nope.
How's the other podcast going with y'all guys?
It's going good. We're supposed to be doing another episode possibly next weekend. We're doing the greatest NXT match of the Black and Gold era.
Hit me up. I want to be a part of that.
Gotcha.
'Cause I already got my, like I said, you said black and gold era. I got my matches for that. All right, guys. So as you know, you can follow both of us on IG. Both our IGs right here. Mine is at fat double underscore hawk 54. His is at Nova underscore chapter 32. Also, we have
Hmm.
a Discord. It will be in the description box.
Hmm.
Also, like I said, next week we'll be back next week to talk about Raw, SmackDown, maybe NXT a little bit, possibly. If anything that intrigues me, I'll give the topics and everything, and we'll talk about it. Cause I watch all
Yep.
the shows all week, so it's like it's wrestling all week. You got Monday Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday AEW, Thursday TNA, Friday SmackDown.
Hmm.
So the whole week is number wrestling.
All week.
Yeah, basically.
All week.
So, all right, guys. So please like, subscribe, share this podcast, leave a notification, tap that little bell for notifications. That way you know when we be live and everything. We talk about stuff. Also, like I said, in the future, like I said, down the line in the future, I wouldn't say the future actually. I'm making an announcement right now. SummerSlam 2 nights will be a live stream. Will be a live stream for both nights.
Hmm.
We will be here for that night for both nights. So come in, tune in. Also, I believe next week we're gonna have some guests. I do have some guests lined up for us next week, and it's some familiar faces. Let's just say that. So everybody, all right, guys. So have a good night. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good night, everybody.